Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. Let's talk about nationalism. It was funny because I thought about, I'm almost 270 videos into this year. My goal is 365, as you all know. Maybe all of you don't know. Maybe I got some new watchers. Most likely the 3 people that watch this regularly know that I'm trying to do this for the whole year. But I don't think I've really talked about nationalism that much. Maybe I have. I need to go through my videos because I'm a forgetful old man, is what it comes down to. And so I may have talked about it and addressed it, and maybe I'm rehashing. I am realizing that, man, I thought I had enough opinions to cover a whole year. I really don't. Pretty simple guy. Hopefully on my next video I'll talk a little bit about my filming experience from Saturday, because that was a lot of fun. I know I mentioned it yesterday about my birthday, because that happened on my birthday. But let's get to nationalism. I think it's a very useless thing to pride yourself on. First of all, it has really nothing to do with you. It's not a genetic trait. Some white guys drew lines in the sand. Not all white guys, but a lot of white guys. Not everywhere was it just white guys drawing lines in the sand, or maybe, for example, putting a big wall up between themselves and the Mongol Empire. That Great Wall that we've often spoken about. That's a barrier. It didn't have to be drawn on a map, but basically, we somehow came to divide ourselves. I think first tribally, and then we've had to fall into power, right? Once kingdoms started coming up a few thousand years ago, and you had to decide: do I want to be with the power, or do I want to fight the power? to quote Public Enemy. And so, eventually sides were chosen, lines were drawn literally and figuratively, and the next thing you know, we got nation states, we got countries, and then we've got national pride and nationalism. One big problem I have with nationalism is it can easily fall into fascism. That's been proven, especially in the 20th century and even into this century. There are, like in Hungary right now, there's birthing a big pro-birth, because we need more Hungarians. About 20 years ago in Japan, they freaked out because there was a study that came out and said by the year 3000 there will be no more quote-unquote pure Japanese left. The year 3000. So we still got 1,000 years before that is even a thing. Let's worry about maybe saving the planet before we worry about saving the Japanese or the Italians or the Colombians or the Nigerians or any race, or any nationality, not race. All races are safe, should be saved, and are equal. We'll go on record saying that. So, for example, let's be honest about most white people in America or Canada. Most of us are European mutts. Very few of us are quote-unquote pure, and I'm not even impressed if you are anyway. Well, both my grandparents, all 4 of my grandparents were from Ireland, and their parents had me. Like, that sounds like a slippery slope to inbreeding, first of all. Second of all, every nation and its stereotypes have positives and negatives, right? So, like I said, most of us are European mutts. I have a lot. I've got Czech. I don't even know if it's true Czech, if it's Czech Republic or Czech Republic or Slovakia. So I don't know if I'm Czech or Slovak, because at the time, my great-grandfather came over from Czechoslovakia, and that's what it was called, right? So I don't know. Do I care? No. Because obviously, this is where I'm going with this. It doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, so I have Czech, I have Italian, I have Sicilian, which by nature means I don't like myself, because Italians and Sicilians do not like each other. And by the way, that makes sense, because if you look at a Sicilian versus like a Northern Italian who can often look German, very different people. A short little swarthy guy. I'm somewhere in between, like my grandfather, who I mentioned several episodes ago, was 5'3". I'm 5'10". I could be probably a center on the national Sicilian basketball team if they needed me to be. But and then there are Italians. Like, if you watch the Olympics and volleyball in the Olympics, those guys are like 6'7". They're a bunch of tall Italians, and they have German-sounding surnames. One of the best losers in history, his name is Armin Ziegler. Sounds pretty German, doesn't it? Italian. And that's why they got along so well and formed the Axis, and then when they both became fascist powers in the 20s and 30s. So, like I said, so there's a slippery slope. there's then like I said, it doesn't mean anything anyway because most of us have just slivers of everything. So those are my first three: Czech, Italian, Sicilian. I have English and Irish, who are also at war with each other. So maybe it explains why a lot of us white guys are so angry, because we got a bunch of just stupid nationalities hating on each other makes up our identity. And then I have French too, and everybody fucking hates the French, so I'm really screwed. But national, I just don't get it. I've never really identified with it. Obviously with the Italian last name, once in a while you play that up maybe, and especially being from New York. But I've never been like one of those typical dudes that had the gold chain with the horn, or has the sticker that says Italia on the back of his car. I've never understood that. And another thing, another thing regarding that, this is a weird thing in Colorado. And if any of you are from out of state that get to watch this video, I would love to hear an answer to this, or if any of you know the answer to this. I guess you don't have to live in that state. But there, you can get probably, I think it's upwards of 80 different license plates in this state alone. I mean, you name it. Support the troops, adopt a greyhound, donate your organs when you die, everything. I have seen some Native American ones, but that's not really, I wouldn't call that a nationality. Maybe you can. I mean, it's a status, and it's definitely a race, but I wouldn't call it a nationality. I mean, because they're not, I don't know. That's a weird one. But where I'm going with this is, I've seen license plates say Italian American. I haven't seen any other. I haven't seen Mexican American, Polish American, Irish American, English American. Haven't seen Nigerian American. Haven't seen any other. So do the Italians know a fucking guy? Maybe I know a guy. Yeah, that's how I got the Italian license plate. Anyway, that is a weird one to me, though, and I would love to hear anyone, if they know something about that, why that's a thing here, and if it's a thing elsewhere, because I find it very bizarre. But yeah, so that's a little weird part of nationalism. How did I get here? How did I get to thinking about this? Well, this is a weird one. I was driving to my father's house tonight. Oh, and it was awesome as always, you guys. It was awesome as always. I was driving to my father's house, and I went by the, it's not Knights of Columbus, it's the other one. Oh, geez. It's an Italian-American society. I can't think of the name of it. I should know it, but, geez. Anyway. Sons of Italy. Pretty fucking straightforward. Sons of Italy, it's over on, like, 32nd and Harlan here in Wheat Ridge. And I noticed there was, like, all lit up in their little backyard part. It basically looks like an oversized house or a church or a school. And they had, like, all these, like, kind of like these... like mesh roofs, like almost like a tarp, that kind of like plastic meshy stuff draped over, like those tents basically. You go out and they're not really tents, they're on poles, but it's just like a roofing, a light type of roofing, and there's a bunch of it. And I looked through, it was meshy on the sides for some reason, because I guess they wanted privacy, but they were playing bocce ball. It was all old dudes, never played, I played like once or twice, never got into that. And that made me think about nationalism, and why do only Italian guys play bocce ball? And just the silliness of it all. I mean, and just how you can actually see people get upset with each other because of just slight differences. Like Venezuelans and Colombians, I've heard they hate each other. Why? You're neighbors. Why do we give Canadians such a fucking hard time? They're the same as us. They're the same as us. They're just slightly more mellow because of their political systems or whatever. I don't know why that border creates that difference. They're mellower people, but why do we hate on the Canadians so much? They're the same people. Maybe slightly more Scottish and Irish because it was easier to come over because it was further north. We got we got more Italians and Greeks and Southern Europeans because it was easier to get to America than it was to Canada. But I've never gotten it. I've definitely never been one of those chest beaters like, yeah, go Bronx, go that. I don't even know what that means. That was Bronx, New York that I meant to say. Maybe I should say go Broncos and celebrate their 3-0, because I find nationalism just about as stupid as I do really getting. I understand cheering for a team, but getting all crazy about it, I don't get it. So how do we sum up? I don't know. This has been another ramble, but I just say, just be a human first. That's what we all are. Look at our DNA and just look at how our core beliefs and how we should just treat each other. And you don't need to worry about where your grandparents came from in order to feel good about yourself. Just be a good human being and you'll feel good about yourself. So there you go. That's my opinion for the day. Love you guys. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.